Hi and welcome back. In this video I'll be going over some things I've heard recently which have in many ways has tripped me out, and also oddly enough has made me feel like why certain things are amiss, seem different, or why people seem different. Now this could be that we've all been given information that was wrong, but that's not the sole answer, because there are also memories of things happening which have been changed, e.g. memories of things we've seen and films, TV, and even our anatomy. Now, what I mean by things which could have been wrong, at first, I'm talking about internal organs. But, I'm going to delve into this more later. But, for example, location of your heart has changed since I last knew about it. Now, this could be either we were told a lie, or it was inaccurate, and that the new location is more of an accurate location. However, if this is the case, then why has it only recently changed when we've been operating on the human body for years? Now, to start off this whole thing, there is two theories: either a time shift where some haven't been affected, or the Mandela effect, where two realities merge together, or people suffer from memories attained from a different reality or false memory. However, this won't explain the change in our world if we for years remembered it differently, because if we remember that differently, then if the changes happened here, then this is more than just a Mandela effect. However, just to cover what the Mandela effect is, the Mandela effect was a phenomenon named after the fact that millions of people, including myself, across the planet, and I mean hundreds of millions, all have memory of how Nelson Mandela died whilst in prison during the 1980s, and remember seeing his funeral on television, etc. Whereas the irony is he actually died on 5th December 2013. Now, when this happened, I was still working even back then in retail. Even I remember this, and I was not only tripped out, but I was very confused. I mean, so were people around me as well. Again, like I said, this could be down to all of us being brought up with misinformation or mistakes at happening. But like I said, we've been, for example, the thing about the heart in particular is like, well, we've been operating on people for years. Why would they suddenly only now change it? Why weren't we informed years earlier or years ago? Doesn't make sense. Now, some people have speculated that the shift just happened in between recently, in last May and September last year. Now, I'm not saying any of this is true, but to be fair, I do share a lot of these memories, which now seem to do not exist, but also in some strange way explains why things feel different now, and or why people seem different. People I know seem different. I wanted to do a video on saying something interesting, and I'll say a few experienced examples, fill the way in. But also, if you can, please let me know in the comments below if you've had any experiences, etc. Now, let's just look at some examples. Now, I've already given one example, and that is Nelson Mandela. What are the odd things that has changed from not just my memory, but the memory of millions? I say millions, but it's probably billions, to be fair. Anyone in my generation. So is the location of the human heart. For years, and I literally mean for years, for decades, we were told that it's on the left side of the chest. But now, it's actually in the direct centre of the chest. This never, as far as I've been concerned, or anyone else has been concerned, has ever been the case. For example, if you remember, in films, people used to get shot on the left, and that would kill them. And also, if you remember, like even like vampire films, people used to they'd spear the vampire through the center of the chest, and the vampire would laugh and say, "You missed. You need to aim for more to the left, because that's where my heart is." Because the heart was on the left. All these people who wrote these films, itchy nose, just like you and me, knew or believed that the heart was on the left side of your chest. Now, this could have been an error or an inaccuracy of information that propagated over the years. But why has no one corrected it? Why has no one told us that the heart is in the centre of the body? Because even I remember school books and textbooks, even books of the human anatomy, showing the heart to be on the left side. Now, especially if you Google it now, it will show you it in the centre. Really trippy. Here's another one about our organs. Our kidneys used to be located at the lower part of our back. But apparently now, the kidneys are actually higher up, almost behind the lungs. I mean, what the actual fuck? Here's also a few other examples, like, music. The Michael Jackson song, Smooth Criminal, used to have the lines, "You've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth criminal." But now, the song says, "You've been hit by a smooth criminal." He's never said hit twice. In my memory, and the memories of others, it's always been struck by. He's never said hit by twice. There's some other examples as well, like cartoons and brands, names. But I don't follow these brands, so I can't confirm them for myself. But for example, Pikachu, apparently from Pokemon, had a black tip on his tail, but now he doesn't. And various brand names have changed in their spelling. I mean, that could be just change of brand, I don't know. Also, Snow White, and this one, wow, this one stuck in my head, is another example, right? Everyone who's seen that film remembers the evil queen going, "Mirror, mirror on the wall." But now in this new reality, she says, "Magic mirror on the wall." As far as we all know, she's never said magic mirror. She's always said mirror, mirror. Why is it suddenly magic for? We can see it's magic. Weird. There's also alleged videos of people online catching this change in reality happening. One example is where a guy has a Bearstein bear book, and the E in the Stein changes to an A. Now, don't get me wrong, this video could be fake, but of all these weird inconsistencies, it does make you think. And also, others have spotted it. Now, there are examples of things happening which are down to misinformation or mistaken memory. For example, the line that Darth Vader says to Luke Skywalker, where he apparently said, "Luke, I am your father," when actually, and I have verified this, he never says that. Even Mark Hamill says this. But no, what he actually says is, "No, I am your father." Now, that ain't because of the new reality. That is basically because someone misquoted it and everyone else copied it or caught on to that misquote. Also, another mistaken Mandela effect is the film Kazam, where Shaq plays a genie. People claim to have memories of this film, even though apparently it doesn't exist or it never happened. That, incidentally, is apparently because the actor, the Shaq in question, who played the genie, apparently paid a shit ton of money for it to be taken off the shelves due to being embarrassed that he made it. However, you can find footage of it on YouTube. Also, going back to cartoons, in Toy Story, when Woody pulls a string, he says, I've got a snake in my boot." But now he says, "I've got a snake in my boots," which doesn't even make sense. Boots. Also, here's another crazy thing. For years, we associate Abraham Lincoln with tall black hats. I just have memories of seeing him in photos wearing a top hat. If you go look for it now, there are no photos of him wearing a top hat. Now, yes, there are images and photos that people have created or made with him with a top hat, but there are no historical photos despite people having a memory of him having a top hat in photos. Now, what gets me is, like I said, is that with the organ thing, it could be misinformation. They're not being horrible. How many years have we operated on the human body? How many years have we performed an autopsy, surgeries, etc.? Why would they for years teach us the wrong information or teach us a lie about where our organs are if that was the case? Some will say, or try to defend it by saying, "Oh, it's misinformation. Oh yeah, but these books, these medical books were written years ago." I'm like, that does not justify the inaccuracies of where the heart is. Ever since the humans cut open the human body, where it's not like they guessed where the heart is. Why is it until now we found only? It's not until we found or created X-rays. A part of the reason why they used to cut bodies open in the olden days was so that we could learn what's inside the human body, how it works, what makes it tick, and where everything is. How could there be decades of misinformation on something that was observed or observable by hands-on science? Surely this is indeed 100% wrong. Now, I'm pretty sure somewhere someone is liable, because for years they've been teaching people false information. Surely somewhere someone's got to be accountable for that. But you can't accuse people of being stupid or wrong when for years most people have been told that the organs were where they originally were, and also had textbooks, etc., teach them this. And yes, I'm perfectly open to the idea that it was inaccuracies, but could someone then explain to me why would there be inaccuracies when we know or have known where these organs have always been since we first started cutting people open. It's like others pointed out, kidneys have moved. I can tell you for a fact that someone who's been taught or is learning martial arts, it's always been known that the kidneys are lower down the back, because there's a move, like, a kidney shot, where you punch them in the kidneys at the lower part of their back. Not only that, why is it that doctors that we visited, for years, our family doctors have said that these organs or these, are located in these areas, are located here and there, etc. Why is it that they don't know that the so-called, this new information? Surely they should know this new information, especially if you're expecting them to treat you or perform surgery on you. I mean, otherwise, for example, if the heart is actually in the centre, and and you go into the centre of the chest, then during surgery, and surely that would kill them if you didn't know the heart was in the centre. If the heart was there, I mean, it's weird. Now, some have come up with the excuse, oh yeah, but the heart was only thought to be on the left because people could hear the heartbeat. You can hear the thumping. Well, no, that's nothing to do with it. Also, incidentally, I just remembered, which I add here, is a doctor used to put his stethoscope in that area. But we've only believed it's on the left because of textbooks, documentaries, you name it. It taught us and brought us up to believe or know that the heart is on the left. Like I said, I'm not saying it ain't I'm not saying it ain't misinformation or inaccuracies, but the problem is you can't just shrug it off or dismiss it as misinformation based on that idea. There's no excuse for this misinformation, if that makes sense. I probably explained it a bit wrong there, but on how to try and get my point across. But it's kind of like there doesn't seem to be an excuse or reasonable excuse to justify the change, if that makes sense. But being slightly open-minded, surely those who have memories of the other one could say that. But you could be of this new reality, or you could be of, when you think about it now. Yes, some may say, sorry, my script went a bit funny, say, yeah, but if two realities merge together, surely we wouldn't be aware of it. But here's the thing, as anyone would tell you, the brain is a complex machine, especially when it comes to memories. Now, memories can be misled, albeit not in the case of the internal, not in case of organs, for example, but say, for example, under trauma, lost memories or fragmented memories come to the surface. It's like, for example, in, say, science fiction, where people get abducted by aliens. Despite the fact that these memories have been suppressed, these people have flashbacks, or their memories come back of said experience. So it's possible for people to have such memory. However, what makes it interesting, and does, to be fair, confound science. Now, if you look at quantum mechanics, quantum physics, scientists are intrigued by. They're still, they can't quantify it. They are intrigued by the phenomena, and you can't just dismiss it. You could be a qualified doctor who goes does offer it, who can explain it, whatever. But that's not the case. If the case, then science, if it could be explained, then science would go, yeah, okay, it is this. But no, scientists are still intrigued by it, because these memories that people have of what's going on are strong, firmly grounded memories, and not sort of like, say, mismatched memories that we hear or have when we hear a misquoted line from Star Wars. Another mistaken one which I can highlight that I've experienced personally, but I'm aware of it and accept that it is a genuine mistake, was the line from Bohemian Rhapsody. Sorry, I've got my script went a bit crap now. Where people for years in pubs especially used to sing, "No, we'll not let him go, Miss Miller." Well, it's never been Miss Miller. It was Bismillah. Bismillah. Freddie Mercury had Muslim connections. It's an Arabic word meaning in the name of God. So the song is, in essence, saying, please let him go in the name of God, not let him go Miss Miller. There was never a Miss Miller in Bohemian Rhapsody. They sound the same, but that's how we sang it, because it sounded that way to us, or we misheard it like we did with the Darth Vader line. But it was actually Bismillah, as I said. However, this as an example of mishearing or misunderstanding which generated a memory, whereas the Mandela effect is literally where, for example, by its namesake, where you actually have memories of, say, like I remember, Mandela's funeral on TV. I can actually still picture and remember the service in my head today. The memories are strong like that. And changes in the changes in the world around us on that level is any other change like that on that level is the Mandela effect. Now, this could be all explained rationally. I'm not saying that this is all true, but I can't deny my experiences. When experiences are so strong, it's very hard to beat or shake or explain it, because it's intense. However, like I said, even though some medical practitioners have an explanation for the Mandela effect, there is still no 100% certifiable explanation for it. Because the medical diagnoses don't cover or can't explain all of the things that happen with the Mandela effect. And it is actually still, oh my fucking neck, a phenomena that intrigues science. And believe it or not, it wasn't crazy people on the internet who came up with the theory of it being a multiple reality thing, or shared memory thing from another universe. But many scientific theories many scientific theories explain why we have the Mandela effect, i.e. shared memories from another universe. It's like dreams. Dreams is also another area that intrigues scientists. Something when you see a family member, it could be a way for your brain to comfort you in times of pain, etc., or your conscious mind generating something to comfort you, or it could actually be that you're living a life of another reality. Do I think of any above as impossible? Like I said, it might have there might be videos of anything like, open like with any videos I make, I'm open-minded when it comes to Mandela effect. And the more and more I hear about it, and discrepancies, everything, all this sort of stuff that occurred, the more it's blowing my mind because it's really freaky, you know. But what's interesting is whoever, for example, let's say it's all true, right? Whoever remembers whichever version of reality, you can't convince them otherwise. Also, if indeed, if say for example you're of someone of this so-called